I would love to ask you, I've got a friend here who is a medical doctor as well, and he really believes in, helping people to change their lifestyle. He's plant-based, and he really focuses on getting them healed. And really, he really invests in his patients. So my first question to you is, now that I have you here, what originally led you into medicine? Was it in the family genes, but what led you into medicine, and what was the defining moment once you were in medicine when nutrition changed how you saw health?
No, that's not the relevant question. Because I went to medical school with the intent of practicing nutritional medicine.
Oh, wow.
I was always critical of physicians in my young 20s and said what doctors do is worthless. They give people poisons for dietary and lifestyle-induced illnesses. And I started to date my wife at the time, and she was applying to medical school. And I said, what do you want to go to medical school for? Doctors hurt people. They don't help people. Your health is in your hands. It's all in your lifestyle. You control your health destiny. And, so she said to me, and I was dabbling in it. I was like taking some courses. I had already graduated from college as a business and economics major, and I was working in my father's shoe business and teaching skating on the side. My father had like 10 or 12 shoe stores. I was thinking of taking some biology and physics courses at night, and thinking of going back to medical school, but it was like, it was too much of a stretch. I was already entrenched in my job, in my career. And then I started dating my wife, and I said, and she realized how critical I was of the medical profession and of drugs, thinking drugs are the answer to healthcare, right? She said, well, if you're so passionate about that, why don't you just quit your father's business and go back to medical school and be a different doctor and change everything? So I said, I was thinking about that, but I don't have the pre-medical requirements. I graduated college. It would take me a couple of years to even get ready to apply to medical school, So I was made aware of the postgraduate pre-med program at Columbia, where you could go in there and take a whole bunch of courses all in one semester and get all your pre-medical requirements, physics and, and biochemistry and everything, and apply to medical school. So I got that all done, applied to medical school in a year, and I went to Penn. I went to University of Pennsylvania School of Medicine with a specific intent to be the doctor I am now, to be a doctor specializing in nutrition and health and lifestyle medicine and natural therapies, and get people off drugs. So I went to medical school with the intent to be an anti-doctor doctor. And everything in medical school supported what I was doing was correct. Everything in medical school, even the first thing they said to you in the first class, the first week of school, was that drugs are poisonous, and that the reason all drugs are toxic. They block natural body processes. And they talked about how medications lower blood pressure, as you create, you vasodilate, so it tightens the kidney and the heart beats faster to compensate for it. Whatever you do, the body does the opposite. And you learned about how futile and how dangerous drugs were. But in any case, the basic sciences that you learn in medical school support what I do. They don't support what medical doctors do. You know what I'm saying? The science supports lifestyle medicine. The science doesn't support conventional medicine. Conventional medicine is for emergencies. Right. We turned it into the treatment of chronic disease through drugs. It's not even consistent with human biology. But in any case, I was just saying I didn't transform. I went to medical school with this intent. And at Penn, they made me chairperson of the nutritional education committee. And they put me on the school admissions committee too. I was a little older at the time, obviously. But I remember going to sit in the stadium seating in the classroom. And I'd be walking to my seat, and some of the other students would be hiding the junk food behind their back. They'd be putting their potato chips, and I'd say, I'm not your mother, do whatever you want,
Oh my gosh, that is great. So you went in to kind of stick it to the man, so to speak, in the medical establishment.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so with that being said, then when did you become when did you have this nutritarian focus? Like, when did that start? Was it something that was just in your family and you were always doing, or were you a teenager, or how did
Oh yeah, yeah. My father was overweight and sickly and had medical conditions, and he started reading natural hygiene books when I was in my early teens. The
Okay.
first book he read was "You Don't Have to Be Sick" by Jack Duntrop. That was the first book he read. I became a friend of Jack. I played him tennis when he was 95 or something. He's still playing singles tennis in his mid 90s. But of course, then my father read all the books and followed Herbert Shelton in the history of the natural hygiene movement. So I read all of Shelton's works and disagreed with a lot of it,
Mhm.
but a lot of it was very informative and foundational to my career. So I realized that you don't have to have asthma; it can be reversed with the nutritional excellence. That heart disease doesn't have to ever occur, and that cancer is self-induced.
Wow.
And
Well, how long ago was this book?
well, I'm 72, right? So this was when I was 12 years old. So we're talking about 60 years ago, right?
Wow. Okay. So this way of thinking, in some sense, is not new. I mean, there's been ideas out there. Then. I mean,
Correct.
okay.
This has been a process of American history where the medical profession became powerful and the pharmaceutical companies became powerful, and they became the primary, driver of so-called healthcare through
Mhm.
drug use,
Right.
which has resulted in the healthcare crisis, and people are brainwashed like a religion to think that doctors have the answer to your health, what ails you, and they're going to solve your health problems with drugs.
Yeah.
It leads to, people think we're not living longer. I mean, nobody's living longer today. I mean, the average age of death is still around the same as it was for the last 100 years. So,
Wow. Wow.
with all
Okay.
just think about this: the number one cause of death in America is heart attacks, right?
Right.
Heart disease. We're giving people statins. We're getting their cholesterols down. We're controlling their blood pressure. We're having them watch their saturated fat intake. And we have the most overweight population and the most heart disease prone population with the same age of death as they did 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago, except for in the 1900, between 1900 and 1920, we had much lower heart attack rates than we do today. There was much less heart attacks in America in 100 years ago than there are today. So if anything, things have gotten worse, not better, and even cancer rates. So we're not living longer and doing better today. That's just all brainwashed nonsense.
Wow. Okay. So kind of go back. So your dad's overweight. You read this book,
Yeah.
and so did your dad improve? Did you
Oh
see?
yeah.
Okay.
He probably went from 210 to 160. Instead of so he got and he did. It helped him tremendously, and so he was a real health advocate. But he was probably did it later in life, and when he was already lived a very pretty unhealthy life, including being exposed to bomb shrapnel and stuff during World War II where he was injured badly.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Okay. So how did that affect you then? Like, when did you so is that when you started paying attention, and when did you start looking at just things like nutrient rich foods and
Yeah,
like,
I was on the I was a competitive figure skater.
oh,
I
wow.
was second, I was second in the United States in pairs figure skating with my sister Gail. And then in 1976, we were third in the world professional championships in pair skating.
Okay.
If you go on my website, you can go to like the about page. You can scroll down any page on the website, and the bottom, a little tiny thing that says about. And if you click on it, you can see all my list of all my published studies, all the books I've written, and you can see some videos of me skating from the 1970s.
I mean, I've gone to your page and I've looked at your books, but I just would have never, like, I go there specifically to look for books or information. I had no clue that you figure skated.
Yeah. So I was competitive. I was training all the time.
Yeah.
And so in my teenage years, we were eating healthfully, a lot of fruits and vegetables, and we were eating super healthfully just to have better stamina, to be able to breathe and not get tired as much. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my sister and I ate very healthfully. So I did eat much healthier than the average American did.